Raise your hand if you want to have a great relationship with your daughter. And raise your hand again if you not only want to have a great relationship with your daughter, but you also want her to be happy and self-confident. In fact, raise your hand and say "I." Maybe you've watched as your daughter that your relationship is not as good as you would really like it to be. Perhaps you've watched as some of your friends' children get into serious trouble when they get a little older, and you'd like to prevent that in your own daughter. Maybe you've wondered if some of the activities that your daughter participates in are really what are going to make your relationship all that you would like while she is still very young. Imagine what it would be like if you and your daughter could have a special time together where you and she could develop a relationship where you and she felt comfortable talking to each other, and you were able to answer the questions that she had on her mind in a non-threatening atmosphere. Picture what it would be like as you explore your creativity together, and she can develop the style of ways she would like to look and have some control over that. Wouldn't you agree that if you're... I'd like to talk to you now about the art of bonding with your daughter through sewing. Wouldn't you agree that if your daughter is not happy, if you are not having the relationship you would really like, that you would need to do something differently? You would need a vehicle in order to achieve that. Sewing gives you that vehicle. Sewing helps you become more resourceful, being able to change things and not take every mistake seriously. It's a way of opening up a different world, being able to pretty much have what you like to wear and create it just for you. Come with me now to the year 1951. My father had just been appointed a new pastorate, and we were going to move to a different town. We loaded up all our belongings, and when we got there, we met the pastor who was leaving that church and his family, and their daughter was a friend of mine from the camp meetings that we would go to. The daughter, named Bernice, took me across the street and introduced me to Cindy Helm. Her mother was there, and I noticed that her mother had long, pretty hair. I thought it looked really good. My mother, on the other hand, wore what I thought was a rather old-fashioned style. It was just like the style that Ernestine, the Lily Tomlin's character of the telephone operator. We would walk to school together, and when we did, she would tell me about the movies she had seen. This was very interesting to me because movies, dancing, makeup, and jewelry were strictly forbidden. In fact, when my mother would see a new person, they would transfer maybe to the church, and she would meet them for the first time. She would say after they left, the highest compliment was, "She's as plain as a stick." High praise indeed.